Under the heart of Riven was a cave. Hardly anyone in the city knew it existed, and even fewer knew how to find it. Yet it was huge, a cavern so vast that you could hardly see from one end to the other. Softly glowing lamps hung from its roof like tiny suns. They shone down on a world that was a home, a training ground, a school, and a place of secrets. It was the Dragonseer Guild Hall, and today it was a racecourse. "Come on, Boneshadow," called Kai as they hurtled around the track. "You're doing great!" He glanced back as they reached the second bend. Behind him was Aaron, then Tom and Connor almost neck and neck, then the others. Kai was leading, but they were only halfway around. "How are you feeling?" he called down. Beneath him, Boneshadow let out a laugh. "Wonderful," she cried. Kai tucked his head and grinned. He was in a saddle, and his feet were secure in stirrups, but it wasn't a horse he was riding. This creature's skin was smooth and dry and as white as bone. She had a long neck and a large head, and on her chest was a red flare. Kai sat tucked between two folded wings. She was Boneshadow, and she was a dragon. "Rockhammer's gaining on us," Kai called. Behind him, Aaron's dragon Rockhammer was huge and fierce-looking, with great spikes. The ground shuddered with her every stride. Aaron's face had a look of grim determination. "He'll get tired," Boneshadow told Kai. "Hold on!" They raced around the curve. Kai could feel Boneshadow's powerful muscles move. He could sense the beat of her heart, the joy of running, the feeling that she could keep going forever. He could feel all this because, like the other children, he was a dragonseer. Boneshadow was his dragon, and he was her human. The pathway straightened, and Boneshadow stretched her legs. The air whistled through Kai's short black hair and made his brown eyes water. He blinked and laughed. The ground shuddered, and he realized that Rockhammer was catching up with them. The big dragon was faster on the straightaway, where his long legs could make up the distance. Ahead of them was the next fence. Boneshadow adjusted her pace. "Ready?" she growled. Kai held on tight, and the dragon bunched her hind legs. She leaped over the fence, landing with hardly a jolt. On her back, the leathery white wings stayed folded. Like many dragons, Boneshadow could fly, but this was a running race only. Kai felt the thump behind him as Rockhammer leaped and cleared the fence too. He could hear Aaron bellowing and knew they were right behind, but already the next bend was coming up. Boneshadow nimbly leaned into the curve and pulled away again. Rockhammer caught them on the third straightaway, coming up to the last corner. Kai could tell he was tired, and his big pink tongue flopped around in his mouth like a dog's. The finish line was approaching, and Boneshadow was just ahead. If they could make the corner, Kai knew his dragon would have energy for the final sprint. Aaron shouted something into Rockhammer's ear, and the big dragon nodded. He started to drift sideways into Boneshadow's line. Kai glanced at him in alarm. "Hey!" he yelled. The big dragon was very close, almost brushing against them. 5 yards. "Whoa!" Kai called. Boneshadow eased up immediately, and with a whoop, Aaron and Rockhammer edged them out and pulled ahead. Now they were in the lead, and Boneshadow had lost her pace. She accelerated as they came into the final stretch, almost catching up, but Rockhammer extended his long neck and crossed the finish line first. "Yes!" shouted Aaron. Rockhammer gave a huge bellow. Behind them, Kai and Boneshadow slowed to a stop. Kai slid down from his dragon's back and patted her. "Sorry, Bone," he said with a rueful smile. "If we'd gone for the turn, we would have crashed into Rockhammer."